Hello students, today we will continue with the chapter Chinese Civilization, and this is the fourth video on the chapter. Today we will continue with the occupations that the people of China carried on, that is about their economy. In the last video we have read about the society. The Chinese society was hierarchical in nature, that is it was arranged according to the rank. The emperor or the ruler was at the top of the social hierarchy. He was followed by the nobles, the artisans, merchants and farmers. Like all other civilizations, the slaves were at the bottom of the society. They belonged to the lowest level of the social hierarchy. The soldiers enjoyed a special position in the society because they were feared and at the same time respected by the people. The Chinese family was a close-knit family. The elders enjoyed a special position again because other members of the society, other members of the family, they respected the elder members. They also worshipped and they also respected and feared their ancestors. About their occupation, we have learned about agriculture and sericulture. We know that agriculture was very important because the soil was quite fertile, which was used by the farmers for growing various kinds of crops. The Chinese were the first to cultivate tea. It was mainly used for medicinal purposes. Later on it became a popular drink not only in China but also in other Asian countries. Another important function of or occupation of the people was that of sericulture. Sericulture means rearing of silkworms and to get silk. This method of making silk or getting silk from silkworm was first learned by the Chinese people, and they were the one who only knew about it. They had kept it a secret, and they used to raise the silkworms. They used to rear or keep silkworms for growing or for getting silk, and how to weave silk, how to make the silk out of it. Only they had the knowledge and they had kept it a secret. It was their main item of export. Today we will learn about the other occupations that were carried out by the people. Next is art and craft. Art and craft was something that the Chinese people again had made a great development in art and craft because they used to make porcelain. Porcelain is a pottery with a glaze in it. It's a very nice looking pottery that we can say. We don't find it in many other civilizations of that time. And the Chinese, they had developed this art. They knew how to make it. They were the first to make beautiful porcelain cups, saucers, vases, jars and bowls. So they had, like silk, it was also the Chinese who had first learned to make porcelain things. And they used this knowledge to make various kinds of cups, saucer, vases and jars and bowls. And these porcelain items or jars, whatever they used to make, they were beautifully decorated. And this was done by the Chinese people, which again had a great demand in places outside China. Like silk, this was also I think that was learned only by the Chinese and they knew how to make it. Next we come to trade and commerce. When we come to trade, that is the Chinese economy, like agriculture, trade was also very important for the people. And the main items of trade were silk, obviously, because they only knew how to make silk. Tea, which was grown only by them, means they were the first to know how to grow tea. Paper and chinaware, that is things made of porcelain. That and paper also they had learned how to make paper. So all these inventions, all these discoveries, all these things that the Chinese knew and they were making and using it, that were their main items of export. And the Chinese, they had trade relations with Japan, India, Egypt and Mesopotamia. That is, they had trade relations with most of the contemporary civilizations or civilizations that existed at that point of time. And they used to trade silk to Central Asia. They used to send silk items to Central Asia, the Mediterranean region and the Roman Empire, because silk had a great demand outside China. They only knew how to make silk, how to weave silk, and they had not given this knowledge to anyone. They have not taught any other people how to make silk. So silk had a great demand in other places. So the Chinese people, they transported or they exported silk to Central Asia, to places of Central Asia, the Mediterranean region and the Roman Empire. And they through the Silk Road, that is, they used the path or a road, so we can say, that was mainly used for carrying or for trading silk. This came to be known as Silk Route, and this was a network of route that was established during the Han Dynasty. These roads were specially made, or these roads were made for the transport of silk to these different regions where silk had a great demand. And the Romans, they regarded silk as valuable as gold, as silk was something that was not easily available to the people. Only the Chinese people knew how to make it, and they were the ones who were trading it. So the Romans, they considered it to be very valuable as gold for them. And in many Central Asian countries, the possession of Chinese silk came to be associated with high social status. That is, people who were wealthy or who were enjoying an important position in the society, they only used silk. They could only afford to use silk. Common people, they couldn't. So it was considered to be something that was a symbol of their status, or about a symbol of their position in the society. So that became the main item of trade of the Chinese people. And how did they carry out trade? They carried out trade with carts and boats. That was their main means of transportation. Later on, we find that horse-drawn carriages were also used by them. So for trading, they used to mainly depend on carts and boats. Boats for going when they were using the waterways, but when they were traveling on land, they used the carts. Later on, we find that they were also using horse-drawn carriages. So that is about their trade and commerce. Like agriculture, trade and commerce was also an important pillar of their economy. That is also one of the important occupations of the people. Their main item of export was silk, because silk was something that only they knew how to make or how to get, and it was considered to be very valuable to the people of other regions. That is why the Chinese used to trade the silk. And the path, the roads that were used by them for trading or for taking silk to different parts of Central Asia, Mediterranean region, and the Roman Empire, that path came to be, that route came to be known as the Silk Route. And this route was used for mainly trading silk, though other items of export were also traded, but that was the main item of export. So this network of roads, it came to be known as the Silk Route. And silk was so important for the people that in many places it was considered to be a symbol of social status. Means only people who were higher in the social ladder, or those who were important, occupying important position in the society, they only could have silk. Along with that, the Chinese also exported tea, paper, and china ware, that is porcelain and other things also were exported by the Chinese people, but silk was the main item of export. They had trade relations with India, Egypt, Mesopotamia, and also with Japan. And they used to various modes of transportation was used by the Chinese people. When they were traveling on road or when they were trading on land, they used the carts. Later on, they started using the horse-drawn carriages, and boats were also used for trading. So now we have learned about the occupations that the Chinese people carried out, that is agriculture, sericulture, art and craft, and trade. Art and craft is again, they were very good in making porcelain things, and we find that handicrafts was also well developed in China. That is, handicrafts means various items that they made out of wood or leather, or jade carvings, bronze objects, gold and silver items were also very popular, or the Chinese had also developed their skill in making all these things. So in art and craft, porcelain and handicrafts, these two were well developed in the Chinese civilization. That is, the people had acquired great skill in making these things. So that is the occupation or economy of the Chinese civilization. In our next video, we will take up about the religious practices in